Thank you, Ryman. That's very kind. So what I'd just like to do is to provide a bit of a background in terms of the UCL Grand Challenges program, which is part of our research strategy for this particular research-intensive institution. It's a strategy which has taken hold elsewhere in various forms, and I'm delighted to see that it's being emulated in one way or another by other UK universities and certainly by one or two other institutions in Europe that UCL is linked to through the League of European Research Universities. So thank you very much, Ryman, for the opportunity to speak. I can go on to my first slides. I'd have to go through yours first and then get to mine. Sorry about that. Here we are. Okay. I wasn't quite sure in which order we would be speaking. So I've been looking after the Grand Challenges program at UCL for the last 4 years. It's a very great privilege to be doing that. It's an idea for improving the impact of all the great research that's generated by UCL in a relatively bottom-up way, without putting a great deal of additional obligation on academics to divert themselves from their core activities. So we've recognized at UCL that having 4,000 academics and researchers across a really broad spectrum of disciplines, having a great track record already for innovation. Since the very beginning of the foundation of the university, a tradition that's radical, liberal and pragmatic, being here in the centre of London and having a perspective that looks at the world and not simply at the problems and challenges of life in London or the UK. This gives us both the opportunity and a very, very great obligation to address effectively the complex problems of the world. And so we would frame the Grand Challenges programme through the research strategy of our institution, which highlights 3 key areas: encouraging and supporting leadership in all its areas, based on excellence, both within the UK and internationally. We celebrate and support and encourage cross-disciplinary engagement, and we try to improve the impact of UCL's outputs in every possible way. So the Grand Challenges programme has existed, as I say, for the last 5 years. We've rolled out each of the 4 Grand Challenges sequentially, and the Grand Challenge which is of most relevance to today's work, sustainable cities, has been in existence for the last 4 years. Its major outputs so far, illustrated here, have addressed issues which are indeed very relevant to today's talks, and I hope that each of these outputs will have a life of its own beyond the publications illustrated here. So I'd like to point out actually that very soon, in 2 weeks' time, we've got the launch event for one of our major initiatives in looking at what the challenges are for London 50 years beyond the Olympic Games of 2012, in ensuring the continuing vitality and success of the city for itself and indeed for its population, for everyone who works here. So I hope that many people who are present here today might come along to the launch event of the book. So we have a number of mechanisms to support cross-disciplinary activity relating to big global challenges, and I've illustrated them with this slide. The way in which we support the work that I suppose uses most of our budget from the Provost is through small grants activity, and that's been, I think, phenomenally successful. At least 10 or 12 of the grants we've awarded through Sustainable Cities, I was checking this the other day, relate very strongly to the issues of urban metabolism and feeding the city. And I'm hoping that the next call for proposals which, as I say here, will be announced in the spring of next year, will generate a great deal more activity that is very resonant with today's seminars and the entire symposium. I'm also pointing out here the themed event series for Grand Challenges, which was supported by the alumni organisation for UCL. So I'm very grateful to the philanthropists and alumni of UCL who enable some of these activities to be pursued. And this year, through the Grand Challenge of Sustainable Cities, we'll be running a themed event series on retrofit with a research prize at the end of it. Now, these research prize activities have shown themselves to be very popular among research students, and I do hope that we'll see as much enthusiasm for them in this academic year as we've had in the past, most recently with the Behaviour Change Month and initiative that generated a couple of extremely interesting projects, mostly in the hands of doctoral students looking at social reconnection and waste management. The latter, of course, very pertinent to one of the talks today. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say, really, other than perhaps thanking, if I have this opportunity, just to thank Catherine Welch, Alison Parker, and James Paskins for organising today's event. And if I can extend some thanks to the BHP Billiton company for the support of the series and to other activities that have been made possible in the context of sustainable cities this year. I think that's probably all I need to say. So I think the seminars today are entirely resonant with what Grand Challenges are about, looking at the big complex problems of the world, looking at what we can do to ensure the efficient and effective supply of resources that are needed for a rapidly urbanizing planet, and to do that in a way that is equitable with the planet's population and meeting the needs of people, particularly in the global south, whose aspirations to lead better lives should be met. And certainly with Grand Challenges, we're trying to tackle that through various means, not least looking at what the big research challenges will be for the Sustainable Development Goals, which the United Nations will announce quite soon. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.